What's your take on dopamine detoxing? Big buzzword at the moment, was thrown around for years. 24 hours not scrolling on TikTok and crazy, your heroin addiction is solved. That was kind of how it was advertised to the masses. I am. What's your take on I like dopamine fasting as a slightly more scientific technical term, but what's your overall stance on dopamine fasting, dopamine detoxing?
Yeah. All right. So I think comparing it to heroin addiction is useful. Um, if somebody is addicted to heroin, and you get them inpatient and you detoxify them, it might take about a week. Um, and heroin's out of their system, and maybe they've used so much heroin that they're tolerant, and they inject, and it doesn't even get them high anymore. They go through the detoxification, and now it gets them high again. And sometimes people overdose after detox. They give their last dose, and it's too much. All right, so we can do that in about a week. But even after they're detoxified, they still experience craving for heroin. Right. So their journey isn't over. Well, we might ask, all right, well, how long does it take for them to get over that craving? For some people, it's a lifetime.
Yeah.
Some people will go to 12-step meetings for the rest of their life. And so that's the problem with dopamine detox. If you're in a situation where you're hitting your dopamine system too much, you're scrolling on social media, who knows what else you're doing. If you stay away from that from a few days, when you go back to it, you will get the dopamine hits again. But if your use of it has gotten out of control such that it's interfering with other aspects of your life, you're scrolling when you're with friends or family and you're ignoring them, or you're scrolling when you're supposed to be working and you're less productive. A brief detox is not going to help that, just like a brief detox isn't going to help a heroin addict overcome their craving and their risk of relapse. So if a dopamine behavior has become maladaptive in your life, degrading the quality of your relationships, your ability to work or enjoy other things, a brief detox is not going to help that at all. What you're going to need to do is a long-term change in your habits.
What are we talking about specifically in terms of timelines? If we take a few maybe addictive common behaviors that people might have, social media, doom scrolling being one of them, take pornography, take cannabis, alcohol. Do we have a good idea on what obviously, to add the nuance, you have to have what the person was using. But can we have a general conversation about the timelines that each of those things might take in a regular scenario?
Yeah. So the first day is going to be incredibly difficult and incredibly unpleasant. The next few days are going to be very difficult and very unpleasant. After a month, it's going to get a little easier. After 3 months, it's going to get significantly easier, but you're probably going to struggle for a year. And even after the year is over, if you're under stress, those cravings for the behavior are going to come back, and you're going to have to fight them if you don't want to relapse.
How does stress impact it? That's an interesting one.
Yeah. How does stress impact it? It's complicated. So stress activates fight or flight circuits in the brain. And you don't think very clearly when your fight or flight circuits are activated. You start acting instinctually, right? The instincts take over. And so you might start swinging. You might run away. Or in modern society, we don't do that so much, but you just might feel this agitation and you just can't think through it. And so when people are under stress, more primitive instinctual behaviors come online, like stress eating. We go for those sugars and the fats. Some people get angry. That primitive rage comes out. So the primitive behaviors come. And if somebody has developed a dopamine addiction or bad habit, that's also going to be activated.
Right. Seems very similar to sickness behavior. When we're very sick and we have a fever, we immediately want sugar. My thing is I just like to play strategy games. I'll just go play video games for a day, and that's just my sickness thing. I just crave that impulsivity. It's like the dopamine just like pulling as hard as it can into the mesolimbic circuits rather than the mesocortical. The desire circuits are overrun.
Yeah. Also, dopamine's always trying to get its way. And so it will say, if you eat this or play the strategy game, it will be soothing. And maybe it is a little bit, but it's pretty short-lived.
Right.
Most people don't understand how dopamine works. That is just a fact. But luckily for you, you can click on my full-length conversation with Daniel Lieberman right now, and I actually promise you will understand dopamine better than 99% of the people. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.